guys are in there, pop in and say hi. Be shy. Screen looks a little fuzzy today for some weird reason. I don't know why. Anyway, we're live streaming tonight. It is 6:49 p.m. Pacific time here on the Southern Gulf Islands in the North Pacific. Wendy and I were over on the Big Island today. And I must say, the shelves in the big supermarket are looking kind of sparse with the mandates that the leader of our country is put on the truckers coming up from the States. Can't come up through the border unless you have 2 tablespoons of special medicine in you. So now I'm starting to see it in the grocery stores. It is actually showing up with a lack of food on the shelves, and that's not good. This is just the start of it, so it's only going to get worse. It's just absolutely terrible and evil what's going on. And quite frankly, I'm sick of it. I was sick of it a long time ago. I was actually sick of it 3 months after it all started. So anyway, guys, pop in and say hi. I'll tell you what I saw over on Vancouver Island today. We're going into Superstore, and they had this big rack of plants out front full of tropical plants, which seemed kind of strange because it is January, end of January. You don't usually see tropical plants on a rack out there. But they had coffee plants. They had a full bottom of the rack was Cavadoria elegans palm. And then they had these other tropical vines and a few other doodads on there too. But every shelf was full on this thing. And it's like, man, it was pretty cold out. I think over there was only maybe 5 or 6 degrees Celsius. So it wasn't that warm. But I did see some nice cordy lines growing in front of one of the stores. There was like 4 cordy lines, and they looked really good. I was surprised they did not freeze in December because it does actually get colder in that area. So anyway, I'll stop flapping my gums for a bit, and you guys pop in and say hi. And then I'll start to talk again. I actually went to the dollar store and got some batteries for my microphone. They're actually cheaper over there at the dollar store than here on Salt Spring. Everything's cheaper over there on Vancouver Island than Salt Spring Island. So we spent $375 on groceries, and the guy at the checkout says if you spend over $300 on groceries, you get a gift. And he gave us this free gift, and the free gift consisted of this whole package of like shampoos, body washes, soaps, toothpaste. It was like this probably $25 package of stuff that he gave us. It was amazing. So shop at Superstore. I'm giving them a plug. Okay. So hopefully there's some people out there that want to pop in. This channel's a lot quieter than my other one, put it that way. A lot quieter. And who knows what you guys are up to tonight. Maybe you're eating dinner right now. Maybe you're in bed. Current temperature here is about 4.4 degrees Celsius. Partly clear sky this evening, calm out there. So it's a cool evening here. And tomorrow's the 26th of January. Man, time is flying. We're going to be into February before you know it, and then into spring. And I'm really looking forward to spring, man. It's going to be awesome. There goes my stream. So if I disappear, it means the stream has died. Okay, bad internet connection. Wendy's watching Narcos in the living room there. So she's watching it's the cartel in Mexico, some sort of series. Hey, do you remember these things? I bought these today. Hot tamales. And I used to eat these things when I was a kid. They're actually pretty good. Not good for me, but sure taste good. Anybody on the radio? Quiet on the radio too. Quiet on the live stream. Quiet on the radio. So I'll go to about 10 minutes. If nobody shows up in 10 minutes, I'm turning her off. And I'll go watch some YouTube videos. That's what I'll do. But who knows? Somebody might jump in. And again, maybe not. It's funny, last time I did a live stream on here, maybe a couple of times ago, I actually left the room. And I was busy in the kitchen. When I got back, there was a bunch of people on the live stream. I kind of forgot about it, and they disappeared. So if you're in there, come on and say hi. Just pop in and say hi. That's all you got to do. Anyway, Wendy and I worked out in the garden a little bit today when we got back from the Big Island. It was a nice day. Went for a couple hours. We went for about 3 hours. It doesn't take very long to get over to Vancouver Island from here. It's a 20-minute ferry ride. And you can save a whole bundle on groceries when you go over to Vancouver Island. Like I say, Salt Spring Island, the prices are high. So over there, fill up with gas, get some groceries. It's all good, man. All good. Tomorrow, I think I'm going to go down to the beach and get some seaweed. That's the plan. Get some seaweed. Yepers. It's kind of relaxing. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for somebody to come in. It's a quiet live stream tonight, folks. It's quiet in YouTube land. Fall asleep here. And I wasn't on the radio today either. There's no skip when I left. No skip right now, so it's a quiet day on the radio, I'm sure. I can just sit here and not have to say anything. I see 2 watchers in there. I'm just relaxing. If somebody wants to come in and say hi, do it, man. I'm just thinking of what I got to do tomorrow. I got to do a whole bunch of stuff tomorrow. And the palm nursery's looking really awesome. You know, everything breezed through the December cold snaps, so I'm just praying there's no more cold snaps before spring, but there still could be. I mean, it is Canada and it is winter, so that's just a friendly reminder. That reminds us that we do live in the Great White North and we get a cold blast. So, yeah. We're getting close to 10 minutes, folks. This is a quiet live stream. It is a lonely, quiet live stream. Big Stack, how's it going? Minus 17. Whoa, that is getting kind of chilly. I was just complaining about how cold it is here right now. It's about 4, what does it say here? 4.3 this evening. It is that 4.3. Yeah, it's 4.3. 4.3 degrees Celsius here, and the temperature is 6:58 p.m. So it's actually mostly clear skies here. So that's why it's cooler out. It's calm and mostly clear. There's some clouds up there, but I guess it's not that bad. Yeah, minus 17. Oh, wow, minus 26. Yeah, you're in Ottawa, right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's cold. I know I got a friend that lives there, and he said, when was it last week? They hit minus 36 or something like that. He said that's the coldest he's ever seen it in the 25 years he's lived in that location. That is pretty nippy there, minus 36 degrees, and even minus 26. That's pretty cold. That would pretty much kill, well, not pretty much, it would kill everything on our island. Every living, growing plant on our island, minus 26 would probably do in. I don't know if there's any, maybe the Douglas firs might survive. I'm guessing they're pretty hardy, but most of the other plants and everything in the gardens would probably be, they would be dead. I know our garden would be dead, that's for sure. Yeah. I mean, we had it pretty cold in December. We were down to minus 6.6, which is pretty cold, minus 6.6 degrees Celsius. And you got to think, because we're living on an island, that's pretty cold for an island. You know, you got the ocean, and the ocean regulates the air temperatures year round. So there's never usually any extremes here. But that was cold. Every so often, Alaska opens her doors up and lets some cold air out, and it kind of just goes right up over top of us when it slides down the coast. Tomorrow, high and a low of minus 29. High, oh man, minus 18. That's below 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Whew. Yeah, stay warm, man. You know what I would do? Hopefully you're not working in it. You know, I don't think you'd be working in those cold temperatures. Hopefully you can be in the house. Like, everything would shut down if it was that cold here. Like, it would be a state of emergency if it was that cold here. That is crazy, man. That's cold. Minus 18 degrees. You know, the record cold for Vancouver at the airport is minus 17.8 degrees Celsius. That was 1968, December 28, 68. So that was a long time ago. It never got so cold in parts of Vancouver. I think they were down to minus 15, something like that, minus 16. But still pretty cold when you're living by the ocean. So, and it's worse when you got wind with it too. If you got wind with that, oh, it bites, man. I mean, I couldn't imagine. I lived in Langley before I moved here in the southwest corner of Langley. And Langley, where I lived, was about no more than 6 miles in from the ocean, but completely different climate. It just, the wind in the wintertime was brutal sometimes. It would come from the east. We called it outflow winds. And you get temperatures, you know, down to minus 10, minus 12 degrees Celsius in the winter. And you get those winds blowing. It's like, oh, man, it would freeze my face. North Korea, no kidding, Duck Killer Clyde. This is bull crap. The guy running our country is not good, man. Yeah, live streaming from North Korea, or where else? What did you say? I said North Korea. You said somewhere else. Maybe it was Russia or something, right? Yeah, I couldn't believe when I went to the store today, at the superstores, like the shelves, there was so many sparse. The shelves were sparse. Put it that way. There wasn't a lot of stuff on all of them. Betty, you're awesome. I gotta love Betty. Say hi to Betty for me. Betty. Hi, Betty. Wind chill would make it feel like minus 38. Yeah, wind chill would be brutal. Hey, Clyde, what's the temperature down in Oregon right now? Where you are? We're okay, so 4.3. I'm thinking we're about 39 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that. I'm guessing where you are, it's a lot warmer. So it's about 39 degrees here, something like that. Wind chill makes it bite. Bite, man. Wind chill sucks. I don't like it. I don't like the wind chill. And, you know, thankfully here on Salt Spring Island, we don't get the outflow winds. I don't know if Clyde gets winds where he is, but I know if you're on the Columbia River Gorge, and some people, there's one guy, Tropical PDX. He lives near the gorge, I think, or in Portland, and they get the winds there. They get the winds that come down the gorge. But I don't think Clyde... I think where Clyde lives, maybe you're not subject to the outflow winds that come down the gorge, because you're south there, right? You're south of the gorge. No work, thank God. Oh, you're retired. Good. Yeah, me too. And thank God, because, well, I mean, you know what? I work outside year round. My job, I work outside year round, Parks Department, Parks and Rec. You know, and it never really gets that bad here. Tropical PD has 20 minutes from me. Oh, 20 minutes. So you are, Tropical doesn't get the gorge. Oh, he doesn't get the gorge winds. Okay. I thought he got the gorge winds. Okay. I wrong. My bad. So how about you, Clyde? Do you get the gorge winds? Because gorge winds are brutal. Those what can desiccate BLEs, and a BLE is a broadleaf evergreen. So you get like 10 degrees Fahrenheit, you know, in a really freak freeze. And it rarely ever gets 10 degrees Fahrenheit there. But if you were to say to get 10 degrees Fahrenheit and then you got some cold winds blowing from the east, it can easily freeze dry a lot of BLEs. And I've had BLEs, broadleaf evergreens, freeze dried right in front of my eyes, watching them get freeze dried, especially palm fronds. They don't like it. No winds here. They die off before Portland. Okay, good. You're in a good spot. Hey, you're still moving out to the coast eventually, right? East winds dry us out real bad. Oh, so you get the east winds. Okay. Well, it'll be good. You guys are still moving out to the coast eventually, like out to Lincoln. Yeah. Yeah, Lincoln City. Yeah. Oh man. Balmy and palmy out there, man. So you're gonna get some westerlies. You'll definitely get westerly winds out there, but you know what? You'll be able to grow so many different types of palms. Jubea, Butia, all the trackies. Trackies aren't a problem. Grow some cordylines too. Put some cordylines in your garden. They'll thrive out there. 10 minutes outside and you can feel your face start to freeze and burn. Oh man. See, that never happens here, Big Stack. Never ever happens. Like seriously, I can work outside on a cold winter day in a sweatshirt here. It's really not bad. We don't get any cold winds. And when it was really cold, it was actually kind of dry, which I liked. The snow coming down was dry. Usually our snow was wet, but then it turned wet a couple of days later. When it started to warm up a little bit more, it started to turn wet. Well, it was a few days later. And then it gets kind of ugly. I actually prefer the dry snow with the colder temperatures because, once we got the milder temperatures, the snow became wet. And I was out there the other day shooting a video of the needle palms. And I look over and what the F? Top of the magnolia is broken off. So that was from the wet snow. Wet snow causes more damage than cold does in our garden. Most of our weather comes from west now. High pressure to the east. Summer creates eastern weather fronts. Okay. Yeah, ours always comes from the west. Our weather patterns coming off the ocean. And when we get the real ugly cold, it comes from our friends to the north, Alaska, right? And it comes right down the coast. Usually the jet stream just pulls it right down out of the Gulf of Alaska. So I haven't seen the long range forecast. Somebody said, I think it was a piece of me that lives in Seattle. He says it looks like it's going to be colder for beginning of February. I don't know. I'm not looking that far ahead. I'm looking for the week ahead. It's not looking that bad. But I know February, I've seen some killer cold in early February, man. Like, I mean, nearly record-breaking cold, and it sucks. So I'm praying that we don't get any of that cold because it's not good for things, especially some of the really marginal things. It can kind of beat them up or weed out the wimpy plants. That's the way it kind of works here, right? So a few of our smaller Dracaenas flopped over. Bigger ones seem to be okay, but it's really weird, like kind of half and half. Some are okay and some aren't. Got a new one yesterday. Joe worked station in island of Antigua, cool, down in the West Indies. I haven't talked down there in a long time. I have not talked to the West Indies in ages. I heard Jamaica in there not that long ago. Maybe a few weeks back, Jamaica was in there, but I didn't talk to anybody in Jamaica. But that's cool, and that's pretty awesome. That's always fun to work far off stations, especially in the Caribbean. It's like Europe. Never hear Europe in there anymore. Hear Hawaii once in a while. Used to hear Hawaii every day. Australia. There was Australia there the other day, but I couldn't get back to him for some weird reason. He couldn't hear me. I could hear him. He was talking to some guy in Vancouver. Could barely hear the guy in Vancouver. And the guy from Australia was coming in. I've worked Australia tons of times, but must have been just the conditions. He could not hear me. And I cranked up the power too. I cranked up to 500 watts. There goes the live stream. Bad connection. So if I disappear, that means the connection's bad, guys. Sorry. I know Wendy's watching Narco downstairs, so she likes watching those shows, Narco, Mafia shows. She loves that stuff. So anyway, I don't know how long the stream is going to last before it actually dies out on me, because this is the second time it actually the connection went on me. But well, it's good to have a couple of you people in there. Anyway, I didn't know if anybody was actually going to join in. Anyway, we stocked up on groceries today, and like I say, the shelves were looking kind of bare in the superstore, which is kind of concerning. Not very good at all. I'm sure there's going to be a lot less groceries in the stores in the next coming months, right? I mean, right now, this is just the start of it. And I had to shoot a video of it. It's like, wow, it's like not looking good, man. Not looking good. There's a lot of empty shelves. And thank God most of it's in the junk food section. But you got to love people that hunt, right? Like Clyde, he can go out and hunt his own stuff. I'm locked and loaded here. If I have to hunt, I'll do it, man. If I have to bag a deer, I will have to bag a deer. You know what I mean? But that's just the way it goes. Anyway, we got lots of rice and beans kicking around. So we got enough food to last us a while. Waving from Seattle. Hey, 615, waving from Seattle. Man, I've actually talked to Seattle a few times over the years, and it's weird because it's like this kind of short DX. But if you're on the south end of Salt Spring Island, so if you go to the very south end of our island and you're up high on one of the mountains, you can actually talk to Seattle locally. So I had a friend that lived on one of the south end mountains for years, and he had a base station up on top, and he could talk to Seattle locally. Like, I'm too far. I'm on the north end of Salt Spring Island, so it'd be impossible. It'd be kind of like it'd be like a skip. It'd be a DX for me, but he was talking to them locally every night. He could talk to them and Victoria and stuff. And it's even difficult for me to talk to Victoria because there's too many mountains in the way. Our island is full of mountains from one end to the other. And so he's at 2,000 plus feet on this mountain he had a 3-element beam, I think he had up, and he also had a big stick or something, or an Antron. Hello from Wisconsin, Pam. How are you? Good to see you in there, man. Yeah, DX is pretty flat today. I turned it on in the morning, and I just turned it on a little while ago. Dead, quiet. Bummer. I love shooting DX. So anyway, I got another RM. What's the number? I keep forgetting the number on it. I have another RMKL203P coming. One of those guys. That's a linear for, that I have in the mobile. But I might put this one in Wendy's vehicle. So it's a little 200 watt. It's a 200 watt amp, but they're good amps, made in Italy, AM, FM, single sideband, and it's got the preamp on it that sucks in. I think it sucks in signals at 26 dB. Betty and I are out. It's getting late. Oh, okay. Take care, man. Say hi to Betty. Have a good night, Clyde. Come in anytime, man. Big stack. I planted 21 trees this back. Got 3 Easter white and yellow. They're pretty hardy. I don't know how exactly hardy they are. I sure hope they make it for you. 12 amp. I'm just trying to think what this is. Oh, yeah, 26 dB. So the preamp, the use on 27 megahertz band is forbidden, and that the use of linear amplifiers and Pacific laws are to be understood to user manufacturers or clients. Awesome. I love that. That's what it says right on it. For the use on, it's forbidden on 11 meter band. I seen them. Oh, copper. Okay, cool. In the US. Right on. I got this one from England. I got another one coming from England right now. It'll be here beginning of February. So in the next week, it'll be. They're nice little boots. It's so funny though, Pam. That's what it says. It says not to be used on this. The use on 27 megahertz band is forbidden. And understand by the user. Yeah, I understand. I totally understand. Well, the government's breaking the rules, so I'm breaking the rules too. They break them, I can break them, right? So anyway, I don't know. I might put it in Wendy's vehicle, or maybe I'll just hook it up to my 458 or one of the other radios here. I figured I might as well have 2 of them. I got them cheap enough, and they're good boots. And the thing is, I don't find they get hot. I was sitting there talking DX for 20 minutes or so, and it was barely warm. I mean, the whole thing is fins, little transistor amp. It seems to kick it out pretty good. And what I do like about it, like I say, is it is a bilinear. It's a preamp. And you can hear some weak station way off in the distance there. And these ones have preamps on them too. And you flick that thing, man, and it just sucks in that signal. It's great. And there's different size ones too. I mean, like I say, that's only a small one. That's 200, I'll say 200 horsepower. That's what I like to say, 200 horsepower. So we got a 350 horsepower, a 500 horsepower, and in my little truck, I got a 200 horsepower. And it seems to work pretty good on that Tram Maggie mount, and gets out pretty well on the DX. So hopefully tomorrow there'll be some DX. If not, hey, there's not much I can do about it. I'll just have to wait till the DX comes in, because I enjoy it when I'm driving. If I'm driving to town, shooting a little bit of skip, or if I'm going down to the beach to get some seaweed. I park right alongside the beach, and it's funny that when I'm right beside the ocean, the skip seems to really boom in a lot better there. So I don't know if the ocean's acting like some sort of weird ground plane or something or what, but it's working. And it definitely helps to have a little bit extra power, that's for sure. 200 watts versus 12 watts is a big difference, right? And I know it certainly works on the radios I have here. If somebody has a tough time hearing me, like I say, I just flick on the foot warmer, and you can be heard, especially if you got to go through a big beam. So eventually I think I'll get another beam. I would like to get a 3-element flat side Yagi and put it up on the roof. So if I'm going to stay here for a while, our plan is to move to Costa Rica. And I don't know if that's really going to happen anytime soon because we can't leave Canada. So, may as well just hang around here and put up another antenna. I got 3 antennas up already, and I wouldn't mind having another one. They're kind of invisible, my antennas, though. I got the Antron and IMAX, and they just kind of blend in with everything. You don't even really see them when you drive by on the road. And we're pretty well hidden in here, too. Very well hidden. But 3-element Yagi, I think I'll put it right up on the roof if I get one. I'm looking at a Serio, made in Italy, Yagi. And should be easy to match. Got one of those gamma matches on it, easy to put together. And I could easily get a rotor for it, too. It only need like a channel master or like one of those old Radio Shack rotors. Wouldn't need like a ham. Wouldn't need a ham 2 or anything on it. Just something easy peasy, right? Because there's a pretty light beam. It's like these antennas here, they're so light, right? So anyway, I'm glad you guys are in there and you decided to stop by and say hi. We miss you already. Costa Rica doesn't have internet yet. Yeah, I know. Costa Rica. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, Clyde. We're still waiting. The funny thing is, in October, Wendy, we had to send in all this paperwork. We have to get all this paperwork sent into the Costa Rican consulate. So the last piece of paperwork they needed was our marriage certificate because we got married on Maui. Costa Rica doesn't recognize that. So we had to send our marriage certificate, and I've told you guys the story before, but some of you haven't heard it. So we had to get our marriage certificate apostolized, whatever in the hell that means, I don't know. So anyway, Wendy got the marriage certificate, and she sent it to Honolulu to get some sort of stamp of approval or something. So she sent it to Honolulu. They were supposed to send it back to us. So this was October. They were supposed to send it back to us, and then we're going to send it in with the rest of our paperwork to the Costa Rican consulate. So a month passes, and Wendy phones Honolulu, and she asks them, she says, have you got around to doing our marriage certificate apostolate? Oh, yeah, it's on the desk here. We see it. We're getting to it soon. It'll be done in the next week. Okay, that's fine. So anyway, another month passes, and she phones them again. And well, actually, it was over a month. It was about a month after. She phones them again, and she said, she asked them, she says, where's our marriage certificate? We haven't got it yet. She says, oh, this is what they said to her in the Honolulu. Oh, we mailed that to the consulate for you. So they didn't tell us. So they mailed it to the consulate in Vancouver, the Costa Rican consulate. There's a guy that Wendy's dealing with there, this Costa Rican guy. So he phones here. Wendy leaves a message there. He phones here. He says, oh, yes, we got it, but they've misplaced it. So they've misplaced our marriage certificate. And that's really annoying. So you got a 6-month window to get all this stuff done. We've already used up about October, November, December, and we're used up just about 4 months now on wasting our time with government bull crap and paperwork. So the band was dead most of the day. Opened up Brazil, Uruguay, Chile. Oh, cool. That's pretty cool. It means Wendy is single and I'm coming to get her. Okay, well, we'll send her down. We'll trade for a little bit there, Clyde. Send Betty over and I'll send Wendy over there. Wendy's daughter is actually moving in with us shortly. I think in another couple of weeks. She's been hanging out here a lot, crashed out here. She doesn't really like it where she lives on the south end. So Wendy says, yeah, come here. So she's going to hang out with us for a bit. You marry Betty, I marry Wendy. Both. Oh, yeah. Then I could get into, no, I would get in. Yeah, I would like to live in the U.S. now. At this point, man, I want to live in the U.S. Oregon, I could live in Oregon real easy, man. Yep. You have great match and great DX distance. Oh, thanks, man. What mobile antenna? On my truck hiker, I have a Tram 300. Back in the day, over 40 years ago, I had a mag mount. I had a Radio Shack mag mount, and I never had it on there all the time. And I had a Nova, this really cool old Nova SS, and I just put it on the roof sometimes when I wanted to shoot DX, and I was using exactly the same radio I am now in my truck. So I had that Citizen MPL5 since 1979. I bought the radio in 79. Okay, Betty, come on down. And Betty's a good cook too, right? Nice. Awesome. I think Betty would probably like it here. I think she'd probably get used to Salt Spring Island. But then the thing is, I'm going to have to pack up too with her and come back to Oregon. We're all going to have to come back to Oregon because that's where I want to live. And I might have to move down to Brookings, though. I could live on the coast, so I'll kind of be your neighbor, but I'll be south of you in Brookings. Is your new high gain silver? Oh, it's working really good. Yeah. I got it hooked up to I'll show you which radio I have it hooked up to. I have it hooked up to this one right here. I got it hooked up to my old 458. I got it hooked up to my TRC 458. And you want to know something really interesting? That 458, back in the 70s, I had it hooked up to a high gain super golden penetrator. And I've had high gain antennas before. Just drop your keys in the hat. People do that. People do that, Clyde. I've actually seen shows like that. And you're watching a movie and there's one thing that everybody drops their keys in the hat. You just hope you pick up the right keys, right? So, yeah, I know that's one way of me getting my my U.S. Green card, right? So Wendy used to live in the States. When she was a kid, she lived in North Dakota. But I don't know if North Dakota is a place I'd want to live. So she lived in North Dakota and she went to school in North Dakota. And she said it's very cold there in the wintertime. Very, very cold in North Dakota. She said the snowbanks were incredibly high, right? And her dad taught at a university down there. He taught native anthropology. And so Wendy went to elementary school down there for a year. I guess she lived there for a year. And then they moved back to, where did they move to? White Rock or Delta? Out here on the coast. Yeah. So do you ever see, you guys have seen Fargo, right? Fargo, that was a pretty good show. You got an interesting accent in Fargo, North Dakota. But yeah, Clyde, I would like to be where you guys are right now, man. Honestly, I'm just kind of done with all the bull crap that's going on here. It's just, I'm so done with it, man. So done with it. And I think a lot of people are. It's dragging on. I'm glad. I actually am fortunate I live on this island. This is actually a really good island to live on because it does kind of seem like we're a million miles away from the real nonsense. And we went over to the big island today. And like I said, you saw my pictures I posted of the store with the shelves being pretty empty. A lot of the shelves are kind of sparse now. It's kind of freaky to see that, but I knew I knew it would happen. You know, I knew it would come down to that, and it's only going to get worse. So what's it going to look like in another month? I'm going to have to go back in another month and shoot another video, and there'll probably be a lot less things on those shelves, right? Because we get a lot of stuff from the States. A lot of truckers come up from the States, you know, and so we're doing a big garden this year. I've been getting the garden prepped, right? USA, yes. Where's my American flag? I took down my Canadian flag. I'm not that. I'm kind of ashamed of. Actually, I still like Canada. I just don't like who's running it, man. And I love the U.S. too. So, actually, I got to get my U.S. flag back up. I have the Hawaiian flags out there, but I actually I had an American flag, the U.S. flag, in my man cave here, and I don't know where it is. It might be down in the basement because I had to clean a bunch of stuff out. So I'm gonna have to put that back up here because I actually like looking at that now. I'm kind of upset right now with Canada. That's the way I feel. I just hope things get back to normal soon, sooner than later, right? We'll see. Stay tuned, and stay tuned for a video of the grocery store when I go back next time. And like I said, stream connection, bad connection. Oh, connection's back. Anyway, my buddy said I can take my over to his place and do some target 50 acres here. So maybe next week I'm going to go over and blast off a few rounds. He's got some killer arsenal, that guy, man. Holy cow. It is just killer, the stuff he's got. One of them holds, 25? Big. It looks like a freaking, he says they come out as fast as you pull the trigger. It looks like something that you'd carry in the military, man. It's super badass. So anyway, we're going to go over to his place and, like I say, blast some targets hopefully next week. Maybe I'll shoot a video. I'll put it on this channel. This channel's a little bit more risque than the other one, right? The other one's more just plants, and this one I put a whole bunch of stuff on it. I know some people might get offended by some of the things, but hey, that's just the way it is. If you get offended by something, this is the best thing to do is just turn the channel. It's kind of like when you're watching TV. You know, I know a lot of people used to get offended with some shows like Married with Children, and they would bitch about it. If you don't like it, you turn the dial. You turn the channel. That's like with YouTube too. If I don't like something, I just go on to the next video. But, you know, some people will leave the nasty comments. You know, why waste your time? Just go on to the next video, right? So that's the way I see things anyway. And I hope all you guys are doing good. I know it's pretty cold in some areas. I think some of that deep freeze has gone down into the southeastern U.S. too, which is kind of scary for some of the palm growers down there. They're not used to the cold weather. We are seeing grocery shortages Really? Not a doomsday, but get ignored. Well, yeah. Yeah, no, I couldn't believe it today, Hiker, when I was in the Superstore. So we have Costco up here. Superstore is like a smaller version of Costco, but it's still big. I have a Cereal Megawatt. Oh, cool. Oh, I got to look in. I've never heard of that one. Cereal Megawatt. I know Cereal antennas are really good. 4,000 meg. Does that mean it'll hold 4,000 watts, or is that just the number? Because I think my Tram 300, I think you only put about 300 watts to it and probably fry the coil, right? Cereal. I got to write that down. Cereal. Oh, let's see what we got here. Cereal 4,000. Because I'm going to have to get another antenna for Wendy's vehicle. Megawatt. Where'd you get that, on Amazon? Or did you get it at Durham Radio? I mean, Durham Radio's gone. I bought a lot of things from Durham Radio over the years, and that was a great place in Ontario, but they're long gone now. Anyway, Hiker, yeah, so you're in Seattle, right? So you're just south of me, not that far, just a little over 100 miles as the crow flies. And maybe 100 miles as the crow flies from our island. It's like I say, you live on the south end of our island, you're up high, you can actually talk to Seattle locally, which is kind of cool, right? So Seattle is not that far. Cereal Megawatt. That kind of sounds like a badass antenna. A Cereal Megawatt 4,000. That almost sounds as badass as a high gain super golden penetrator 500. And I used to love that when I was talking on my super penetrator. I had the super golden penetrator 500 5/8 wave, and I bought it in '79 with that Citizen MPL5. I bought it from the same guy, and I bought 2 leads of 50-foot Belden 5/8U cable. I'm still using the coax because my plan was to get a beam, and I eventually did get a beam a year later. I bought a no, you know what? I bought it the same year. I might have bought the beam the same year, and it was a 2-element high gain quad, and so they're good antennas too, the high gains. But I'm gonna have to check that out. Maybe I can check it out on Amazon, huh? Maybe they have it on there, or maybe on eBay. There's lots of stuff on eBay. I bought my boots. I bought these latest boots on eBay from a store in England, so they're brand new in the box, but they're small. I mean, this thing's a tiny little. That's the linear right there. Look at how tiny that box is. It's tiny, right? I can put. So you got to think the linear is smaller than the box, right? So the box it comes in. So I can cover that. I can put that my hand, wrap it right around the linear. It's so tiny, but yet so powerful. You know, and then you look at these old boots. I used to have an old boot back in the day. It was a Chris Big Boomer, and it was like huge. It must have weighed 25 pounds. It was crazy. It had tubes in it, had fans in it, had the plate, the drive, whatever that was. And there was a tune. The plate had these 2 big knobs on the front of it, and it put out about 600 watts. And I used to run that through my high gain quad. So people could hear me really well on the DX when I wanted them to. I just turn up that Chris Big Boomer and send all my power into one direction. And when I wanted to talk to Australia, I talked to Australia. And most of the time I talked on the flat side when I was running that beam. It was both polarities, but used to get out pretty good. Then my buddy down the road had a Moonraker 4, and that thing got out just amazing. I absolutely love Moonraker antennas, right? They're great antennas. So anyway, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be down here. I'm just going to see what Wendy's doing. I'm going to see if she's finished, because there's a couple of shows I like to watch, or things I like to watch on YouTube with her. We watch How to Hunt by Steve. He's like this. People send in their stories on Bigfoot, and he reads them. And it's a good YouTube channel. It's called How to Hunt. And then there's another one called Dixie Cryptid, and he's in Mississippi. So the How to Hunt guy's in British Columbia. It's all Bigfoot stuff. And the Dixie Cryptid guy is in Mississippi. And people send in their experiences, their encounters, and he'll read them. And it's just kind of fun just to listen to it at night, to listen to these stories. And it's like, wow, some of them are pretty wild to listen to, you know? So when she's finishing watching Narco, she loves to watch Narco. I want to watch Dixie Cryptid, or I want to watch How to Hunt by Steve. And he's in Pemberton up by Whistler. Hang on. Let me just check. Are you just about done? No, you're still watching. Okay, I'm live streaming. Okay, I'm going to show you something, guys. Where is it? Right here. I'm going to show you something. I'm missing one here. Okay, so on our beach across the street, I don't know if I showed you these before. See these cool arrowheads? You can find that one's still pretty much intact. That is an arrowhead that is found on our beach right across the street. And then there is a part arrowhead or a spearhead right there. And then there is another one here. The tip's broken off though. And you wonder how long those things been sitting on the beach for. Isn't that amazing? Like, this is like ancient stuff. Isn't that cool? And I found a couple, and then my kid found, I think my kid found the best one. One of my kids. This was years ago. Probably, he was just a little kid. He's 30, going to be 31. And he might have been 4 years old. And he was playing in the shells. We had a white crushed shell beach there. And he says, "Hey, Dad, look at this cool rock I found." And I said, "Well, that's actually an arrowhead." So then I started rubbing around in the shells. And then I found an arrowhead. And then another time I found some tools too. So there, and there's lots of native stuff you can find here. And there's petroglyphs on our island too. I have videos of them here. There is two petroglyphs that I know of. And there's this really cool, it looks like like the mortar and pestle. So it looks like there's a rock on the beach, and I'm just trying to think, it's just down here, not that far from us. And it's like the sandstone rock where there's a bowl in it. There's a bowl carved into the rock. Like, this is could be a couple thousand years old, right? From the natives. Maybe it's before Christ. And they would grind. It was up at high tide mark on the beach. So they were grinding something in that bowl. It's definitely man-made, which is super cool. But the arrowheads are kind of neat, eh? And it almost looks like it's some sort of black obsidian or slate or something. But isn't that amazing? Like, they carved these things and they hunted with these things. Like, somebody back in the day, couple thousand years ago, was using that arrowhead to hunt with. And this one's bigger, so I'm guessing it might have been maybe a spearhead right there. And I know people that have found axe heads and things too. And that one there's a lot bigger too. So I'm guessing it was a axe head. Just ancient stuff. It's kind of cool. So I got these sitting in my man cave along with a whole bunch of other junk. So those we can't get rid of. So years ago when I was a kid, I remember talking to this guy in Arkansas. And I used to talk to this guy in Arkansas a lot. And he sent me an arrowhead. And I cannot find that arrowhead, man. It just disappeared. But he sent me an arrowhead from Arkansas, which was cool, that he dug up. And I used to talk to this guy a lot back in the day. This was like back in the late 1970s. I'm talking to this guy in Arkansas. And he sent me this cool arrowhead. And it's just like, I don't know where it is. It just, things just kind of disappear. So it's gone. Too bad. But anyway, save those. And then I got some dinosaur bones too, which are really cool. They're sitting downstairs. So a friend of mine used to go to Drumheller a lot. Drumheller is the Badlands in Alberta. And that's where there's lots of dinosaur bones and stuff. So she brought me back part of the vertebrae and a femur and some other chunk from a hadrosaurus. She said it was a hadrosaurus. How she knew, I don't know. But she used to spend a lot of time. And I think she used to work at the Tyrol Museum. So I got some dinosaur bones down there. Those are the oldest things in my possession, are dinosaur bones. They are about 80 million years old, I guess, something like that. Isn't that crazy? I'd like to get some palm fossils. There are palm fossils in town in the rocks, but you can't get them out of the rocks. If you take them out of the rocks, they're going to crumble. But there are palm fossils. You can see some palm fronds in the rocks right across the street from Mowat's at Grace Point. And they were discovered by a geologist years ago that lived there. And some lady pointed them out to me years ago. So I do have lots of videos of those palm fossils, either on this channel. I think I'm on this channel. And I also am on my other YouTube channel, Banana JSSI. So if you want to see some palm fossils, they're in there. And the crazy thing about it, it's ironic, there are palm trees growing in front of those palm fossils. Isn't that strange? So you got these 70 to 80 million year old palm fossils. And then palm trees were actually replanted there, growing beside them. So what he said, he told me, because I talked to him, and he's long gone dead now. He died. He's an older guy. The palm trees, they were laying down, right? They fell down, I guess, and then they their fossil thing happened there. They fossilized, created fossils, and then they got squeezed and pushed up. Now it's a rock face. Got the serial mag mount from a radio store. Oh, okay. Via mail. Okay. Well, San Francisco's not that far. It's just south of us. I see we have a spammer in there, and we will get rid of that guy. Remove him. Bye-bye. So, yeah, that's cool. I wrote it down, a big stack, and I'm going to actually check that out. That sounds pretty cool. Sounds like a pretty neat antenna. I love mag mounts just because magnetic mounts are just so easy. There's no drilling. You know, I got a B2300 Datsun, and it's in really mint shape, my little truck. It's a 2010. I bought it when it was a couple of years old, and I just have the slider window in the back. So I just run the thing right up out the back window, stick it on the roof, and I never lock the window anyway. I don't lock my doors here. Nobody really steals anything here. It's pretty good place to leave a vehicle unlocked. You don't have to really worry about it much. So anyway, I put the mag mount right on the roof, and it works really well. And I'm pretty pleased with it. And my old radio's still working. My old Citizen MPL5, it goes up to 28235, and it's got an unlock clarifier in it. It might be peaked a little bit. I'm not sure. But I got that stuff done to it many years ago when I was a teenager. And now I'm running the power with it. So I used to talk skip on that radio back in the day barefoot with a Radio Shack mag mount. And then I got an ugly stick. And then I got a skip shooter. Do you remember the skip shooters? That's the other antennas I ran on it. I run a mag mount with a skip shooter and then a mag mount with an ugly stick. So I ran those three antennas: Radio Shack mag mount, ugly stick mag mount, skip shooter mag mount. And the skip shooter mag mount had the tunable ends on it, right? Then there was the fire sticks too. And I think fire sticks may have had tunable ends, right? I'm just going to grab a glass of water. Stay right here. Do not go away.
Are you still there? You walked away from the ice.
Okay. Yeah, it's amazing those mag mounts. So that sounds like a pretty cool one. I'm going to actually look that up. 1800 watt short. Wow, 1800 watt. Holy crap, that's a lot. I'm going to punch this in right now. Megawatt. So Stereo megawatt 4000. I want to see what it looks like. And a Moonraker. It's good. 27 to 28.5. Not even that expensive. Oh, but the okay, so it's you actually have to buy the mag mount bottom for it separately. So it is let's just see here. I'm looking at the price. So it's about 100 and something bucks, I think. Stereo megawatt. Oh, I'm looking at a British one here. It's 27. Maximum power 600 watts, 1800 watts constant wave. Cool. Pretty badass antenna. Now, why isn't it showing a picture? Oh, there it is right there. There's actually a megawatt 3000 too. Cool. That might be one to get. Yeah, those arrowheads. Yeah, I've got those years ago. I've had those for a few decades. Try the Serial Megawatt 4000. It's on Amazon. Oh, okay, cool. I'm going to try. So it's on Amazon. Okay, Amazon. Okay, well, I buy a lot of stuff on Amazon. I'm going to have to check that out. Pretty awesome. You know, they got a Stereo 3-element beam on Amazon too. You know that, right? I mean, I've been looking at that, and it's how much is it? Was it a few $100? I think it was $389. It's not cheap. I'm pretty sure with shipping and everything, it's probably going to be like $400. But they had the 3-element Yagi. That's what I want, a 3-element flat side Yagi. mean, if I could have a moonraker up, that would be awesome, but I'm not about to spend $1,000 on an antenna. I don't think Wendy would let me spend $1,000 on an antenna, right? So, I mean, I already got 3 antennas up, but I really would like a beam antenna because, in retirement, it's good to have hobbies. And I've always been into radio. It's always been one of my hobbies. It's something I've never let go, right? I've always stuck with it. A lot of people get rid of their radios. Cereal makes well. Yeah, no, they make good stuff. Cereal made in Italy. If it's made in Italy, it's going to be well made, right? I'm Italian, but I'm not made in Italy. I'm made in Vancouver. So I'm going to have to check that out on Amazon and see what they are on there with the mag mount, because the only antenna I'm ever going to get for my vehicle is going to be a magnetic mount. I just can't see me drilling a hole into my truck. I wouldn't do it, man. There's no possible way. But the little tram I'm using, it's a 42-inch steel whip. It seems to work pretty good when you're running, some juice through it. I mean, I was talking DX with it barefoot. Okay, I do talk DX with it barefoot, but it certainly helps to have that extra kick behind you, right? So when you got a little boot behind you, 200 watt, 300 watt, those people out in DX land are going to hear you a lot better, right? It's kind of like these guys here. I talk barefoot all over on this big base station here. This is the 2980 WX. So I talk all over barefoot on AM. When I'm talking AM, I'm either on that one or that one, and I get good radio reports when I got the power going through it. And I don't like to use the power that much. I mostly only use the power only on sideband and more for far off stations, right? Really far off stations. But most of the time I'm talking barefoot on that thing. It's a pretty good radio. I like it. I don't like the receive on it though. I find the receive is kind of crappy. The receive on my 458 is better, and the receive on my DX RCI DX 2970 DX is better too. This one here is hooked up to an IMAX 2000. That one's hooked up to an Amtron 99. That one's hooked up to the high gain silver rod. And the receive on that absolutely sucks unless I got the preamp on. So before I got my vertical back up, they go up where the my porch. No way. Really? That is cool. You work Europe and South America from it. That is totally awesome. Yeah, I would love to work. I mean, I heard on my mobile, I heard Australia coming in. Oh, actually, I did. Actually, I got a video. He did actually acknowledge me because I'm always putting videos on here, right? So the guy in Australia did acknowledge me, and I did hear Hawaii in there, but he didn't acknowledge me. There was a Hawaii station in there at one time too. So, but the connection wasn't good enough to actually have a QSO, but it was good enough where he could acknowledge me, and that was in my vehicle when I pulled into my driveway here one night. That was like last week, I think, and that's not bad off the little mag mount. Not too bad at all. The whip section is a little over 7. Oh, 7 feet. Oh, it's big. Yeah, I think that would be too big for my vehicle. Yeah, that'd be almost like 102-inch. Those 102-inch whips like that people used to run on their vehicles back in the day? That's what it would be like. Yeah, I think that might be too high for mine. The one that I have on there now is 42, and it's just perfect. Big stack. 42-inch whip is nice. Actually, I shot a video of it. I shot a video of it the other day of the antenna I'm running. So Washington Hiker on this channel. When did I upload that? Let me just look here. Live stream. Oh, there it is right there. Okay. I don't know if you did. I don't know if you saw. Here's a link for you, Washington Hiker. Here's a video I shot the other day, and it just kind of shows you what I'm running in my truck and for the antenna. All right. Right there. So you can see exactly what my antenna looks like. And like I say, it's nothing fancy. None of my antennas are, I'm not running anything fancy here, but be a little bit fancier if I do get a beam antenna. I do miss having a directional. Omnis are good, but when you want to hone in on somebody, and direct your power all into one direction, you got to get a directional, man. There's a few guys I talked to. There's one guy, a 6-pack up in the Smoky Hills of Tennessee. You can see some of the videos here. I've talked to him, and that guy comes in so freaking loud. he sounds like he's sitting next door to me. He's running an 8-element beam, and he's running horsepower through it, man. He's probably running a couple of thousand watts. He just slams in here, but just crystal clear audio. Good signal. I'll check this one. Yeah, check that one out. And you can see it's just a short video showing what my Maggie mount looks like, what my old radio looks like. Like I say, my radio is not fancy in my truck. I bought it in 1979. It's old school, man. It is an old school 40 channel Citizen MPL5. It doesn't have FM, it's just AM and single sideband, so lower and upper. And it does have the extra channels in it, lots of extra channels. And that's a bit. Most of the time, I'm on channel 38 anyway. Most of the time, when I'm talking DX in my truck, I can't be bothered to change the channel, so I just keep it on channel 38. It's just easier because, when I'm driving, my radio's kind of sitting on the console beside me, facing that way, and I can't really see to fidget with it, right? So if Wendy's sitting in the passenger seat and she knocks the clarifier with her elbow, then it kind of messes me up, or it messes somebody else up that's listening to me, right? So anyway, it works well, and I'm glad my old radios still work. Like I say, I got my first radio right there, way up there. That little guy right there is my first radio from 1977, and it still works, man. It's a TRC 452. And I used to talk all over. So much DX on that thing. The very first DX station I worked was in Louisiana on that one, and the guy sent me a QSL card. That was in 1977. In New Orleans, Louisiana. I think it was New Orleans. Anyway, no, it wasn't New Orleans. It was somewhere else in Louisiana. I shot a video of it here. My very first QSL card. You can watch the video of the very, the card I got from the very first DX contact I made. And it was on a half-wave Radio Shack ground plane antenna. Not very high off the ground. It was not very high off the ground. My dad set it up for me. I was just a kid. I was 13. So they bought me the radio because we used to listen to CB radio back in 1976. He bought just a receiver. It was a receiver. It had 23 channels on it. And all I heard was coming in was skip. DX was coming in. And I says, man, it'd be so cool if I could talk to those guys, Dad. And so they took me to Radio Shack. After listening to those guys for a year, took me to Radio Shack in 1977. They bought me my first radio. They bought the power supply. I still have I have the original power supply. And that radio, actually, I got extra channels put in it back in 1981. I got extra channels put in that AM radio. Yeah. So it still works. I really don't talk on it anymore. I should actually fire it up and talk on it. But it's a great little radio. It's got the chrome dials on it. It doesn't have a digital channel selector. So it is old school. And I'm just glad I hung on to all my old radios. Because like I say, a lot of people got rid of that stuff. Long gone, man. You can buy it on eBay. Some of it's junk. Some of it's for parts. Some of it's going for a lot of money. You look at those old Browning base stations, Browning Golden Eagle base stations, and they're worth a fortune, right? Those old freaking tube jobs, and I don't want anything like that. I mean, I'm quite happy with my RCI radios, and I like all radios, man, as long as they work. I've always wanted a Yaesu, and there's a ham operator here years ago selling his Yaesu. I went in and watched him use. He says, this is for sale, FT101E. I never did get it. I should have. It was a really nice radio, but anyway, I'm glad I got the RCI radio here. They work really well for me. And my Lollipop. I love Lollipop mics, right? They're great microphones. They work well, and they're built well too. Can't go wrong with a D104. Although the other day I was talking to my RCI 2970DX, and one of the guys on the Big Island over here says, man, your audio sounded really crappy. And it always puts out good audio. And I couldn't figure it out. Soon it was the battery. The battery was shot. So I went off island today, got a nice 9-volt for it. It works really good. Awesome story older than often. Wendy. Yeah, I'm probably more lucky to have her. She just puts up with me. That's why she sends me up into the man cave. Puts me up here, says, Joe, I want to watch my show because I like to talk. See, so this talking with you guys is a social thing. So I guess if I didn't have the live streaming and the YouTube and the radios, I'm a guy that I need a lot of hobbies, right? I would probably be more at the coffee shop talking to some people that are like-minded, that are retired like me. So Wendy says, hey, don't you have something to do? She wanted to watch Narco on Netflix. She's watching this series called Narco. It's about the Mexican cartel. So she says, don't you, do you want to talk on your radio to your buddies or do a live stream? So I says, you know what, I'll do a live stream. So I sat here basically for the first 10 minutes of this live stream and nobody much was coming in. And then lo and behold, you guys came in, which was pretty awesome. So I appreciate it. So there you go. It wouldn't be nothing without you guys. You guys make it fun. And that's what makes the radio fun too. You can talk to people all over the world. So it's a good hobby. And there's a lot of older retired guys on radio. Like a lot of the guys I talk to in the southern states, I mean, some of these guys are 80 years old still, 80 years old or more. I mean, and they've been talking on the radio for decades and they have a blast. They meet people from all over. They probably don't get out much. And that gives them a lot of enjoyment and, of course, friendship and maybe not feeling so lonely in these crazy times when you're connected to the world. Right? Those things, this connects you to the world, but it's not the same as this. Because, I can see your messages here, which is cool, but there you're actually interacting and talking with somebody. And it's always fun to find out what they're running. I know you guys are running laptops. Maybe some of you guys are on your iPhones. Maybe you're running just home PCs. I'm running a laptop. But it's interesting because everybody's running different radios, right? You talk to some guys, hey, I'm running a Cobra GTL 2000. Oh, cool. I'm running a Starduster. Some people I talk to are still running Moonrakers, Joe Gun antennas, different types of quads. It's really, really, really interesting. And it brings back memories because some of those antennas I remember when I was younger, shooting skip 40-something years ago. Those antennas were around then, and there's people still using the same kind of antennas. There's some guys that still have their same stuff up from back then. Isn't that crazy? That's pretty wild. It really is kind of awesome. I like it. So it's kind of like a nostalgia trip to me. When I turn on that radio and I hear lots of DX coming in, it's like it brings back memories when I was a kid. I remember coming home from school. And when I come home from school, first thing I did, I went out to the mailbox. I lived out in the farms, out in the southwest corner of Langley. So I lived right by the U.S. boundary, Zero Avenue. Washington State was right there. You could throw a rock into Washington State. And I'd get off the school bus, and I'd walk 4 or 5 blocks, whatever, to my mailbox. And I'd get my mail, and my mail was QSL cards. When I was a kid, I was getting QSL cards all the time. 5 days a week, pretty much, there was QSL cards in my mailbox. And that was my fun. I would talk to people, and I'd like to get QSL cards. I'd send them mine. They would send me theirs, and I got a ton of QSL cards. And that was my excitement, is shooting skip when I wasn't doing my chores. It was coming in. I was somewhere around 150. Oh, in 2015, so 150 in 2015. Okay, so it's going to be more now. I mean, it's probably going to be 7 years ago. $5 inflation, right? So it's up there. I think I paid for my tram $60, $65, something like that. It wasn't an expensive antenna, but yours is definitely big. Yours is a good one. Yours is like buying a Wilson, what are they, 1000 or something? Or a K, what do they call those, K2s? Mag mount, is it a Wilson 1000? I think that's what they call them, right? And then there was those other ones. Was it a K2 mag mount? There's a bunch of different mag mounts out there. So that sounds like you got a good one there, Big Stack. And it's still working for you. The big antenna, the magnet. So if it's 70 inches long, where do you put it on your bumper? Like I would have to put that on the bumper of my truck, I guess. And I guess it would probably get out really good. 70 inches. 72 inches is 6 feet. Okay, so it's just under 6 feet. Okay, well, it's as tall as me then. I'm just under 6 feet. Wow, I'm 5'11". That's interesting. Okay. Where would I put a tall antenna like that? I guess that's too tall. That's too tall for my roof of my truck, I think. I mean, I guess I could put it on the roof of my truck. Would it look kind of funny, though, that tall? Probably get out really good, though. Huh. And how was the matching on it? Like, did you have to cut it? Because some antennas, you actually have to cut a little bit to get them a good match, right? So did you have to take it out and trim like an 1/8 of an inch off it, or 1/4 of an inch, or a couple millimeters, or was it already matched? And sometimes you have enough to just slide it up and down, Mine's got an Allen key on the side, and mine seemed to be fine. So leave it where it is. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, I will definitely look that up. Big stack. I will. I like looking at eBay and Amazon at night. I'm always on there just kind of shopping. It's kind of like when you're browsing and you don't have a pocket full of money to buy any of the stuff, but it's fun to look because my income has been cut in half since I retired. Really, it has. I'm on a municipal pension plan, right? Because I was in the union, and it has actually been cut in half, which kind of sucks. So there's a lot more things I would have been able to buy, but I can't really buy them now. So I have to really watch the spending. So it'll be good when Wendy's daughter moves in. She's going to move into one of the rooms in our place, and then she's going to pay rent. So that's going to help too, because where she's living now, she's not really much into it right now. So she needs to get out. So she's going to come here. So that also helps too when you got a little bit of extra dough coming in, and it also helps when Wendy's accommodations get busy again when they start up in the spring. Once tourist season starts, then we're good. But right now it's kind of like downtime, low key. Got to really watch the spending, so I can do more browsing than shopping. So the last thing I bought was that boot. I bought a couple of these, and I'm not going to buy any more. I'm done buying boots. So I got my RM KL 203P, and very, very happy with it. I gave them a very good review on that linear. So yeah, the magnet would have to be huge on an antenna that long. The magnet on mine's not bad. You can see it in the video, right? You can see it stays on there because in my front driveway here, when I'm driving out, there's some big redwood trees. We have these two huge Coast California redwood trees, and it's got some lower branches on those redwood trees, and they actually it brushes right against them full blast. The antenna, you figure it'd knock it off the roof. It doesn't bother at all. So it's a pretty good magnet on that sucker. I'm pretty impressed with it. So anyway, I will check out that, and if I don't get one of those, maybe I'll get another tram or there's a K30 or a K40. So it's a K40 Maggie mount. It's also K30 by Wilson, right? Wilson, is it a Wilson K40? Is that what they call that one? And then there's a K30. They sell those on Amazon as well. I mean, you can get all that stuff on eBay too, right? Thank God for what did we do before eBay and Amazon? Well, there was radio stores we could actually go to. There's not a lot of radio shops around anymore. Like they are kind of minimal. I don't know of any. There's none on Salt Spring. I don't know. There's one guy apparently in Victoria that does it out of his house. He's kind of a techie, but there's no real radio shops that fix radios that I know of. Like when I lived on the mainland back in the day, and then I'm talking, this is 1980, 81. I would take it to a guy called Tricom Electronics in Langley, and I would drop my radio off, and I'd say, this is what I want done to my radio. And I had another guy I took it to as well, to a ham operator, and he was a technician. And he says, yeah, no problem. He says, pick it up in a few days. So I would go, 3 or 4 days later, I'd go back. If I dropped it off on Monday, I'd come back on a Friday, and it would be ready. And like my Citizen MPL5, I dropped it off, and I said, put as many frequencies in it as you can. So when I went to pick it up, we had it on the frequency counter, and I actually bought one of the frequency counters from a CPI digital frequency counter, and it went up to, he got it to go up to 27 or 28.235. Doesn't go below 1. And then I took in, and I have something super cool here. I bought from him a TRC 48. I bought a TRC 48, and he hooked up a Siltronics variable frequency oscillator model 90. And that one goes to 27.845 from out of a 23 channel single sideband base station from the mid 70s. And then that one there, my TRC 452 goes down to 26.535. It's AM, strictly AM. And then my TRC 458 goes up to 27.805. I didn't get him to do it. And I got somebody else to do those mods in 1980. And then it's got half channels in it and a 5kc slider. And so it's got all the halves in, which was kind of cool. Yeah. Well, guys, I think I'm going to go soon because I need to go sit down in the living room and just relax, and see how Wendy is doing down there. I better go pester her. Get me the pest because she's watching her show Narco. And anyway, I'm just going to go sit down and see what she's up to and see if she wants to watch another video with me. Maybe she's done down there. So, okay, guys. So you guys, I thank you for joining in the live stream. I didn't know if anybody was actually going to join in, but you did. There's a few people that kind of came in there. So, all right, take care, Washington hiker. Hey, if you're ever hiking in the bush and you come across a sabe, which is a Sasquatch or Bigfoot, make sure you always have your camera on hand. You just never know what you're going to come across in the forest, right? And it's interesting because I watch a lot of stuff on that. It really interests me. Sabe, S-A-B-E, Sasquatch, Bigfoot. You know, there's vast forests out there, and you know they claim it to be a hot spot in the Pacific Northwest. So if you ever see something strange out there like that, make sure you capture it on video and put it on a YouTube channel. You'll definitely got a lot of hits with that, you know, especially if it's the real McCoy, not somebody dressed up in a monkey suit, right? All right, take care. See you later, Big Stack. And thanks for coming in. It's been a slice. And I think Clyde's gone now. Clyde and Betty are out of there. So take care. Enjoy the evening. I know it's pretty late where you are. It is 8:01 p.m. Pacific time, and the temperature is 4.1 degrees Celsius here on Salt Spring Island. All right. Oh, you're a believer. Okay. Well, hey, stay right there, WA Hiker. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to send you a link from Wendy's YouTube channel. So my wife has a YouTube channel, and I'm going to share you something she shot near Port Renfrew on the West Coast in August 2013. Okay. And it's amazing. We don't know what it was. We were frozen solid with fear when we saw it. And the History Channel used it for The Proof Is Out There on December 3rd. They actually paid for it. They bought it from her to use. They paid to use her video for their show. They did. So I'm going to find the link. Hang on. Let's find it. And I'm going to share you a link, okay? So don't go anywhere. Let's see what we got here. Bigfoot. I got to get you this here. Okay, hang in there. Okay. Okay, so here is a video for you to watch that Wendy shot. All right, so I'm going to share you that link. That's for you, WA Hiker. Okay, Washington Hiker. And then I'm going to share you another one of me explaining about what we thought we saw that day, because it was kind of weird. Oh, whoops, no, I don't want that one. Hang on. Where is it? Right there. That's the one I want right there. Okay, so here's another link for you, WA Hiker, Washington Hiker, right there. So these are on Wendy's YouTube channel. You like her channel, subscribe to her channel. She's got some cool stuff on there. We don't know what we saw that day. A few YouTubers, big name YouTubers, asked if they could take her video that she shot and break it down to analyze it to see if this was bull crap or not. And they couldn't find any fakeness about it. So you watch it, leave your comment below on her video. We don't know what it was. Maybe it was just a bear, you know, but it just didn't seem so bear-like to us. We've seen lots of bear, and whatever we saw was big. It seemed to be bipedal. It seemed to be quite big and standing on, you know, like it was standing up on two legs, you know, but it was hard to see all of it. There was a lot of thick bush around, and it was near a creek. We were off the side of a creek, 100 or so feet into the forest. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, take care, and we'll see you guys later, and stay tuned for another live stream. I also do live stream on my other channel, Banana JSSI. So you know my other channel, right? Washington Hiker, Banana JSSI is my other channel. I will put a link there for you, and you can see my other channel. My other channel is here. I have 3 YouTube channels. This is my main channel. I'm giving you a link right there. That's my main channel I gave you the link for, right? Because I'm a big exotic plant gardener. So there's lots of exotic stuff on there. Every day I shoot videos. Every single day of the year, I shoot videos on that one. There's a lot of videos. I think there's 16,000 videos on that channel. All right. So you guys take care, and I will see you later. And if you see something crazy wild up in the forest, Washington Hiker, let us know. because in Washington, it's a hot spot, and British Columbia is a hot spot. And we're heading back to Port Renfrew in March. So who knows? Maybe we'll see a Sabe in the bush. Take care and join in next time. Cheers to all of you. Have a good one out there.